This video provides a quick review of how to solve linear equations when you have variables on both sides of the equal sign. The three steps that you need to remember are listed at the top. The first step is always to simplify the expressions on each side of the equal sign. The second step is to move the variable terms to one side of the equal sign and the constant or non-variable terms to the other. The way you do that is by adding opposites. And the last is to multiply or divide to solve for the variable. And that's the step where you get rid of the coefficient. So let's look at a couple of examples. The first one here says 4x plus 5 equals 2x minus 7, and we're trying to solve that, which means we're trying to find the value of x that will make the left side equal to the right side. If I look at the first step, it says that I need to simplify each expression on each side of the equal sign. That means combine like terms. If I look at the left side, I have a 4x and a 5, and those are unlike terms, so I can't combine those. And here I have a 2x and a negative 7, and those are unlike terms, so I can't combine those. So there's no simplification to do. The next step then is to move your variable terms to one side of the equal sign, and it doesn't matter whether you move them to the left or the right. I'm typically going to move them to the side that has the most positive or the highest coefficient of x. So in this case, the 4x is larger than the 2x, so I'm going to move all my variables over here to the left. So the way I get rid of this 2x, that's a positive 2x on the right side, is I subtract 2x. I use opposites. And then I'm going to subtract 2x on the left-hand side of the equal sign as well. Once I do that, I combine my like terms and I have 2x. I still have the 5. And now on this left side, 2x minus 2x, that's 0x, or 0. So those go away, and I just have negative 7. After that, I need to move my constant terms to the other side. So this left side is my variable side, which means my constant side, or my non-variable side, is the right side. This is a plus 5, so I'm going to continue to use opposites. So I'm going to introduce a negative 5 or a minus 5 on both sides of the equal sign, and then I'm going to write down what I have left. Here, these are opposites. 5 and negative 5, that becomes a 0. And 2x plus 0, that's just 2x. And then on the right side, negative 7 and negative 5 is negative 12. So now I'm done with the second step, which says get all my variable terms on one side and my numeric or constant terms on the other side. The last step here is to get rid of the coefficient of x. This is 2 times x. So because that's multiplication, the way I undo multiplication is with division. So I'm going to divide by 2. 2 divided by 2 is 1. And 1x is just x. So x is negative 6. And just a reminder, if you wanted to check that solution, our original equation was 4x plus 5 equals 2x minus 7. If I substitute in x equals negative 6, 4 times negative 6 plus 5, does that really equal 2 times negative 6 minus 7? If I follow my order of operations here, this is negative 24 plus 5. The right side is negative 12 minus 7. Both of those are negative 19. So that really is the solution. Moving to the second example here, negative 5x minus 3 equals 3x minus 11. Again, I can't combine anything on each side, so I'm going to start moving my terms using opposites. Again, it does not matter which side you put your x's on. I guess in this problem I'm going to continue to move my x's to the left. So if I don't want this 3x on the right-hand side, then I'm going to have to get rid of it. That's a positive 3x, so I'm going to use an opposite, or negative 3x on both sides, and then I'm going to write down what I have left. The left side becomes negative 8x. I still have this minus 3, and on the right side I have negative 11. Continuing, I have my variables on the left side. Now I need to get my numbers on the right side, or my constant terms on the right side. So I'm going to use opposites again to move terms from side to side. I'm going to introduce a positive 3 because that's the opposite of that negative 3. If I write down what I have left, I've got negative 8x on the left and negative 8 on the right. So now I've got all my variable terms on one side and my constant terms on the other. The last step is to use multiplication or division to solve for x. This is negative 8 times x, and remember my goal is just to get x, which has a coefficient of positive 1 there. So to get rid of that negative 8 multiplier, I need to divide by negative 8. Negative 8 divided by negative 8, that chunk there is 1. So that's just 1x, or x, and then on this side, I also get x equals 1. All right, moving on to example 3. This one gets a little more complicated in that we now have to follow that first step. The first step was to look at each side of the equal sign separately and combine any like terms before you move things from side to side. So I'm going to ignore that x plus 12 on the right, and I'm just going to focus on this left side of the equal sign right here. When I look at this left side, I see a 2x and a negative 5x that I can combine, and I also see a 3 and a negative 7 that I can combine. So when I combine those like terms, combining the x's, I get negative 3x, and combining my constant terms, I get minus 4. On the right-hand side, these are unlike terms, so there's nothing to combine there. Now I'm going to move my variable terms to one side and my constant terms to the other. Oh, just to be different here, let's say I wanted to move my variables to the right. So if I wanted to move my variables to the right side, that means I need to get rid of this minus 3x here. So negative 3x, the opposite of that, is positive 3x. So I'm going to put that on both sides. Then I'm going to write down what I have left. I've got a negative 4 here. I've got 4x plus 12 on the right. So now my variables are on the right, which means I need to get rid of this positive 12 that's with that 4x. To get rid of that, I need to use the opposite, which is minus 12 or negative 12. That's going to be negative 16 is 4x. And then the last step, now that I have all my variables on one side and my constant terms on the other, is to eliminate this coefficient. This is 4 times x, so to get rid of the multiplication 4, I'm going to divide by 4. So the solution here is x equals negative 4. All right, let's finish up with this doozy here at the end. That's pretty complicated, but again, we're going to just practice our simplification skills first. So ignoring what's on the right side, on this left side I have all these parentheses. So I'm going to distribute to get rid of my parentheses. This is negative 3x. And then when I do negative 3, I'm thinking of this as a negative 2 here. So negative 3 times negative 2 is positive 6. Then I'm thinking of this as positive 2x. And then positive 2 times negative 6 is minus 12. So I have negative 3x plus 6 plus 2x minus 12. Then on the right side, again distributing, 4 times x is 4x. 4 times negative 7 is minus 28, or negative 28, and then minus 3x. So I've gotten rid of my parentheses. Now I want to combine my like terms. On the left side I have, I have a negative 3x and a positive 2x, and I also have a positive 6 and a minus 12. And on the right side, for like terms, I've got the 4x and the minus 3x. So let's combine our like terms. On the left side, negative 3x plus 2x, that's negative x. And positive 6 minus 12 is minus 6. On the right side, 4x minus 3x is just 1x, and then minus 28. So we did a lot of work there to simplify. Now I'm going to move my variable terms to one side of the equal sign. Let's go to the right again this time. So this is a minus x here, or minus 1x, so I'm going to add 1x to both sides. You don't have to write that 1 down if you want to, but it helps some people. So that's going to be negative 6 equals, remember this is a 1x plus another 1x, that's 2x, minus 28. Now my variables are on my right side, which means I need to put my constant terms on the left side, so that's going to be add 28, because the opposite negative 28 is positive 28. So this is 22 equals 2x. Now I have all my variables on the right, I have my constants on the left, so I need to get rid of the 2 by dividing by 2. So that solution is x equals 11. That's a brief review of how to solve equations with variables on both sides of the equal sign.